Right folks, so welcome back to another video in the GTI. It's kind of frosty out today, so hopefully there's no ice on the road. But yeah, we're continuing on from the last episode of this whole series where, as usual, the car goes on the dyno, makes some pad and it has an issue and then we fix it. So yeah, we're going to be resolving the low pressure fuel pump situation today. So I'm heading over to Revo today. Might do a little vlog once we're there. They do like a low pressure fuel pump kit that includes a Walbro 450. So yeah, we'll pick that up. Right, so it looks like we've made it to Revo down in Eventuri. Lovely FDRX7 there in yellow. Need to find some place to park. Nice S4 as well. So we're here at the Revo Performance Center. We're here with Alex and Charlie. We're going to go for a little tour of the workshop. Very nice setup here, the wheels, everything pretty much. And there's a TFSI here for all you EA113 fanboys. Various different builds going on.
So we've got the new Focus T.
Yep.
Currently stage 1 and pushing on stage 2 development with that as well. Our development Cupra.
Yeah, this is definitely more our cup of tea.
Stage 2 on that. Looking at stage 3 as well. So a little bit more power. Only a wheel spin, front wheel drive.
Yeah, the best way, front wheel drive, wheel spin. I always get the question about what's the point adding more power front wheel drive, but it's got its own thrill, hasn't it? Nice set of wheels on that, some NS2Rs as well. I've noticed with the Mark 8s, once you start adding a few modifications to them, especially stuff like wheels and giving it a slight drop, they definitely do come a long way. Some people weren't a fan when they first came out, but everything takes time, I guess. Right, and for the main part of the video, we've got the low pressure pump. So this is a Revo Walbro 450 pump. I will put a link to it down below in the description if you want to know more. But we're hoping this is likely going to be the solution to our problems. Fingers crossed, hopefully. But yeah, folks, that was a quick little tour of the Revo Performance Center down in Eventuri. Doing a little vlog, as we said. GTI is filthy. Some lovely scenery out here. Obviously all being ruined by this wheel hop. Does sound pretty good though. And just like that, second tuning place of the day. Back down at MRC Tuning. Straight in. This car pretty much lives here at this point. Back again with Dean. So what are we looking at here then?
So you got your low pressure pump. This is the one out of your car. You see it's a bit mucky.
Yeah, it's definitely very clean, that.
Got a new stock pump there. In cases a fuel filter and a regulator.
Okay, so that's at the top here.
Yep.
Built in rather than separate as like the
exactly that. Yeah. So obviously you can't change the fuel filter. It's not a separate thing in the car. If you do want to change the fuel filter, you have to get a new in-tank pump. Okay, so that's the sort of issue we've come across here because this car's got so much mileage on it. We sort of made the decision to get a whole new pump and then obviously operate it with the 450 pump. So what we'll do, because it's a bit more of a technical thing to be fitting together, I'll probably put together a little time lapse now of it all getting built up. Pumps back in, car's on. Just got VCDS up here, so the actual and specified is matching up nicely, so it seems to be all running good. So it's the next day. We didn't actually do any tuning yesterday. It was more of a health check on the dyno just to make sure the low pressure pump is all working as intended. We have got an engine management light on because the tune needs to be updated to account for that, but it's all good anyway because we still have one more thing to address, and that is the stock airbox. Now I'll be honest, I have been following a bunch of Mark 7 builds in the US and a lot of them do stick to the stock airbox. The reason being, the main kind of restriction is this part here, which is the turbo inlet pipe. You can also make like a fake R600 by obviously removing the snow grit, which I've already done, and getting the blanking plate here and then cutting out the sort of air passageway over there. Now obviously you will remember I did attempt to put on this blanking plate, but it broke within like a second of me trying to install it because it's just really flimsy plastic, so I left that out. And I didn't cut out this part here. We were only at stage 2 at that point, so it didn't really matter to me. Now I have been recommended to just get an R600, but I've decided against that because I've gone for an Eventuri Intake. So big shout out to the guys at Eventuri, especially Imran. Now the reason why the grill is off, you might be able to notice something already. It has this sort of feed plate that you have to sort of
modify the grill essentially. I'll probably throw in a few clips now. I had to do a bit of drilling and cutting to make this sort of scoop as such. So you get air directly from the grill, goes upwards, and obviously we're going to remove all this ducting area. They go straight into the intake. Right now it has to go in from this side, go along this kind of feed here, and then into the airbox. But going on to the filter itself, we have a full carbon arrangement here, typical Eventuri style. This is their patented Venturi housing. You will have been familiar with this. I've had this kind of system on a few of the cars. The M140i's got one. And we also have this duct. They did used to have a plastic one, but I don't think it's in production anymore. It used to be a bit more flexible, but this is pure carbon. I do miss doing more DIY. We did a lot of it in the summer, but it's absolutely freezing here in the winter, so that's why we haven't been getting the tools out as much. Right, in the main bit, the filter itself, I'm not going to lie, this looks so fancy compared to the rest of the car. I'm quite pleased with the way this car's turned out, especially when you go look how it was like when I first got it. Right, that looks to be it. All I got to do is put the bolt in now. And this remaining line as well goes into the side of the filter housing. Like I said, all nice and OEM. And the finishing touch, and as you can see now, we've got a direct supply of air going straight into the filter housing. You can see the bit of red there. I don't know how good this camera's picking it up, but it goes in through here, up there, into there, nice straight back into the turbo. Right, so those are a few clips of the intake. I didn't want to rev it at home because this car is still pretty loud. But yeah, let's see if we can make some more power today. New low pressure pump, new intake, and it's been nicely cleaned thanks to Sean. Let's watch him get it on the dyno. He said he was going to struggle, but it looks like the car's had a respray out how clean it is, man. Yeah, not bad. Lovely. Now in the last video, this car made 461 PS on 99 run, and then we put octane booster in and it made 471. But yeah, hopefully we'll get closer to the 500 horsepower mark today, or 500 PS. Right, so we've done a few runs. I've got a few part numbers, but we're just going to revise the tune now to account for the new hardware. Doug, so round 3 with the GTI, or 4, I don't know how many rounds we're at now,
5
but
6, yeah.
yeah, probably. Okay, so we've jumped right up to 492 PS then.
492, that's with a little tweak with the intake kit on it now.
Okay.
The turbo's not working as hard with that intake kit, so it definitely makes a big difference.
Okay.
But I think we're just at the limit of the GTI engine, the compression, the exhaust cam compared to a Golf R. We're not trying to make we're not trying to make a peak power number down here or run lots of torque. We're trying to keep the torque curve flat so you've got grip two-wheel drive. So that's it on its limit of peak power at high revs.
Yeah, so 492 PS, but with an actual nice power band rather than, of course, having
it's pretty flat torque curve.
Yeah.
If we tried to make loads of torque like you would on a Golf R, so another 100 newton meters or so, you would have your torque coming up and then power dipping down to that. So your peak power number might be at 5.5, and you might have a 20-30 brake higher.
Yeah, whereas this we're at nice 6,500 RPM. That on
it's near red line, so you can thrash it through the gears top end without wheels, or get to there without wheel spinning. The actuator's 15 to 20% less on the turbo to make the same boost. So stock airbox to the Eventuri makes a big difference.
And there we have it, the tune on the GTI is finally done with the help of the Eventuri Intake and also the Revo low pressure pump for the added bit of security. But it goes to show how much of a restriction a stock airbox is, even with the operated turbo inlet pipe. But yeah, I'm just glad I can finally enjoy it now. It's been a bit of a running joke for the last month or so with me and the guys at MRC who've been saying, when can I actually do a first drive video on this thing? I think one of the more interesting things in the last couple of videos is we've managed to demonstrate on the dyno figures wise how a GTI engine is definitely very different to an R engine. This setup will have done around 530, 540. Obviously they're both EA888s, but there's differences like the cams, etc. But either way, there's plenty of power for this thing. There's likely I could say the end of the road in terms of engine mods, but you never know, there's always something. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like on it, subscribe for a lot more content to come, and look out for a video in a few days time on the first drive.